Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to another New York session over here with Raja Banks and team, with Market Fluidity and team, the Forex family and team, and the Gulag and team. It's the 2nd February over here, and man, we have an amazing week coming up, filled up with volumes. A lot of volume here. We got ADP tomorrow. We got unemployment on Thursday. We got NFP on Friday. Man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be wild. So, without further ado, let's take a look at pound yen over here and let's see what's going on. Because, we had some indication that it may continue falling bearish, but I guess it's not. We're stopping above the support over here. Let's see. So, all right, perfect. We got all systems running. All systems are good. Just want to adjust a few things over here. So, looking at the 30-minute time frame, what we can clearly see is that there's this support being formed, right? So the previous 30-minute candle closed with no wick at the bottom. I mean, some people took sells over there. That's all well and good, but the candle closed with no wick. When there's no wick over here, that means there's no range for the next candle to go down. So basically we're waiting for another candle to kind of like break below 143.550 for price to probably continue bearish. Probably continue bearish till to fill this wick and then continue on towards 143, 370, 350. That's going to be a target over there. And obviously we're ranging in this little area here. It's like a 17 pip range, right? It's no trade over here. So whenever you have a small range means there's no volume in the market, right? That's why we have the small tiny range over here. All right, let's take a look at this chart. This is a impulse entry. Yeah, that was way too late. If this candle was breaking above, you should have waited for this candle to close and then waited for maybe like a support to be formed or a high to be broken and then take that trade. So I think this was a little bit of a FOMO trade over here because we gotta wait. So let's do some high time frame to lower time frame analysis here, right? All right. Let's take a look at the daily here. Let's remove all analysis. Looking at the daily candles coming up. You can see how the daily candle had no bottom wick over here. So now we're continuing to move up on the daily time frame. Let's take a look on the 4-hour. Looking at the 4-hour, we created a low at 143.300 right over here. Oh, I'm having deja vu right now. This is all deja vu. So price created a support at 143.300. We're actually creating some sort of a resistance over here too. So let's take a look on the 1-hour time frame. So looking at the 1 hour, we have the solid resistance formed at 143.700, right? It's a very, very solid resistance. We have the previous 1 hour candle kind of like closing below support, but when we drop down to the 30-minute time frame, we can see that this is this is actually a support right over here. So we would want to see a candle closing bearish and probably the next one to break this low to continue moving down. So we're going to keep an eye on that and see what happens. I mean, if this candle really starts breaking the low over here, or would I want to wait for this candle to close bearish? That's something we'll have to wait and see. Hey, Vixen Live, been watching your videos. What is the stimulator you use? Stimulator to stimulate the charts? You use so I can practice. It's called Soft4FX. Soft4FX.com. You go over there and this is the simulator, not stimulator. Stimulator is something else. All right. Do you think 143.470 could cause problems with the sell? 143.470? Yeah, I mean, we'll keep this in the back of our mind right now. If price does break below 143.550, we're going to keep this relevant to our analysis as it starts to come down, because this can basically reject. This is something that happened yesterday right over here, right? Right over here, when we broke the support, price came down, it actually tapped into this wick and then it pulled up a little bit, and then it continued to move bearish. So we'll have to keep that in mind if price does continue down. But so far, price is just ranging at this point. As price was ranging in London session, the trend was not clear for me in 30-minute, but in my opinion, it was bearish trend based on 1 hour. Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, if you look on the 30-minute, it was still at support. Yeah, it was still at support, right? It's still at support. We can't ignore this. Even though this candle closed bearish and you have the overall 1 hour candle closing bearish, it's still at support. We can't ignore the support. You know, so you got to keep those things in mind. Please move those news things. It bothers, in my opinion. Yeah, I think you'll get used to it. You get used to this news thing here to the left hand side. This basically to show like, you know, different things we have happening here. So yeah, I think you're gonna get used to this. We're gonna try to keep this over here. Yeah, Capital Hungry vibes. I got the idea from Capital Hungry. I messaged him, I'm like, hey, how do you get that on the left hand side? He's like, oh, just do this. I'm like, okay. All right, let's take a look at Euro JPY over here. Let's do some full-on analysis on Euro JPY. So Euro JPY is coming down heavy bearish at this point, right? It's coming down really bearish over here. We got a support down here at 126.460. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, we're about to break this low, and if we break that low, there's a very high probability we can continue down into the support, which is not that far away actually. It's like 5 pips away, you know, but still that's a very important support. Looking on the 30-minute time frame, yeah, that's a very solid support. So if we measure this range, it's like a 7 pip range over here, you know, so we basically missed the sell on Euro JPY. I had to start drop down. I know June was talking about we might see some sort of a retracement, and I think retracement should be down up over here if it does do a retracement, right? Otherwise, we only got like a 7 pip range to continue down to this point. So pound yen is also starting to, you know, come down here a little bit slowly, which is pretty good. We got about 22 minutes left for this candle to close. Looking at the 15-minute time frame, yeah, see, so we need the candle to close bearish below this previous candle in the next 7 minutes. And then we can have price continue moving bearish. Hey, I know you don't use trend lines, but this is what I'm looking for. All right. Let's take a look here. This is looking for continued buys. Okay, so you would want to see a break above that resistance, which we see small one over there. Yeah, you'd want to see a break of that area. Oh, gold actually broke support. Gold broke support. It has been respecting the levels over here. 1859 broke the support. Should continue down towards, you know, 1841, like 30 pips away. Gold gave no confirmations. Yeah, gold gave no confirmations at all. I think on the 5-minute you can see confirmations on gold, you know, because gold has a lot of volume. Whenever you have a pair that has a lot of volume, it moves with a lot of ferocity, you know, you most tend to look at the smaller time frame, the 5-minute time frame. You know, sometimes you could get some good entries. You can look at the 15-minute time frame, but usually 5-minute works on gold very, very well because it has a lot of volume and gives some good confirmations there. All right, pound yen is slowly coming in over here. Let's look at the smaller time frame. Perfect. We want it to continue bearish. See, I'd want to see this candle close bearish, or let me see here. If we break this low, and if an entry is taken as it breaks the low at 143.520, yeah, you know, since this is an extremely delicate situation, I'm going to be waiting for the 15-minute candle to close. I'm not going to take any impulse entries because I don't like the vibes. You know, I don't like the vibes here that it's giving me at this point. So we'd want to wait for the 15-minute candle to close. So got to wait 4 minutes. Hello, Raja. Can you look at this chart, please? Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at this chart. All right, pound yen support, sells after breaking and closing below 143.550, kind of same setup as yesterday. Buys after breaking and closing above 143.730. Okay. Yeah, it looks good. Kind of like the same idea as I have here for price on 30-minute time frame here. We're basically creating support, and if we break that support, we can continue moving bullish. So we'll have to see. We shall have to wait and see what happens here. How to determine when to take this as an impulse or not, because you almost would always take this trade. Yeah, I mean, it depends on, I would say it's experience. You know, I would say it's basically experience. I mean, I've seen impulse entries for the last year. You know, for the last year, I've been studying impulse entries. I've been watching them. I've been watching them play out. You know, so it all comes down to experience. Also because, like, you know, I think the 15-minute candle is about to close, so I think it's better to wait for this candle to close and then take the trade. So, you know, as you keep looking at the same things over and over again, like after some time, you start to get some sort of an intuition, you know, on what price may do. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a Euro CAD chart. We're coming down. If candle breaks and closes on 30-minute high, possible buys for retest. Yes, you could get possible retest here. Would they move up a little bit? So basically you would wait for the 15-minute candle close, and if it closes bearish, you would enter with stops above previous 15-minute candle. Yes, but I would want it to close below this low over here, you know, because that's our support at that point. Let's take a look at this chart here. This is a pound yen 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart. Yeah, I don't know. 5-minute. It's still in the range. I mean, it's not that good at all. I mean, look, you got 578, you got 613 here. I mean, what are you trying to get? 4 pips? That's not a good way to trade at all. You got to do your analysis again. Are you not worried about the wick to the left? Yeah, I mean, we have this wick rejection to the left, so you're anticipating volume to break that area to continue down. But so far, it's still ranging here, so there's nothing to do at this point. Oh, can you please post Zoom link? All right. Let me post this Zoom link over here. There we go. There we go. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This was a buy. Took a buy at 30-minute kind of close. So you took. See, I don't know where you took the buy. So I have no idea where you took the buy. And if you took the buy over here, your stop loss should have been below this candle over here. So I think you need to mark this up again and probably write down where you took the buy. Yeah, because I don't know why the stop loss is down over here. But you manage risk. If you manage risk, that's pretty good. Oh wow, look at that. Gold retraced all the way. Let's do some high time frame to low time frame breakdown on gold over here. So looking at the daily time frame, daily is basically still ranging over here. We got a massive support down at 1840. Looking on the 4-hour time frame, we're slowly coming down to that massive support at 1840, 1835. So this is our massive support right over here. And then this is a rejection we saw yesterday at 1842. You know, and this is where I think price is kind of like tapping into right over here at that rejection level. Also, you know, before price came down, we created some sort of a resistance at 1850. So we'll have to wait and see over here. Looking at the 30-minute time frame, yeah, that's a pretty strong resistance there. Plus also we broke down this support over here too. Yesterday was the same scenario. How come you took an impulse and today we're waiting for the close? Would it be because it was coming at NY open? No, it's just, I mean, yesterday we took the sell right down over here, 143.720. You guys have to remember what happened yesterday. Yesterday price came down, came below all these wicks, and then we took a sell. Right here, we can't take a sell because candle is still above these areas. I mean, it hasn't really come down to that point. I mean, if you look on the 15-minute time frame, you can see the 15-minute candle closed bullish over here, and 30-minute candle is about to close. So just by looking at this, I want the 30-minute candle to close bearish, right? Because look, if this candle closes something like, let's say if this candle closes something like this, right? If it closes like this, then I'm going to have a much better opportunity for price to take a sell, and then we can continue moving down, you know. But if this current candle starts breaking the low, I don't think I want to take a sell. That's just me. I mean, I'm just talking from experience. My intuition tells me not to take a sell once it breaks the low. I just can't explain that. It's just You have to see things happen, like maybe like, 200 times, 300 times to kind of like get that sort of intuition, like if you want to wait or not. But I would want to wait, especially the 15-minute candles are closing bullish over here. Let's see here. Can I use the same concept you are teaching on short time frame for swing trading? Yep. Basic thing is, when you're looking at candles, right, all candles move the same way. Whether it's on a 15-minute time frame, if it's on a 1-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame, daily, weekly, all candles, they will always move the same way. And since this 1-hour candle is about to close in about 13 minutes, so it's better to wait for this candle to close over here. And while we wait for this candle to close, while I wait for the candle to close, I also understand that I may miss the move if this candle continues bearish, and I'm okay with that because I want the candle to close bearish and then take a sell based on that. Hey, I took a USDCAD trade that worked out, but I think it was a bit of a silly entry. Could you take a look? All right, let's take a look over here. There's no such thing as a silly entry. There's a character building entry. Let's take a look. Oh, nice. It was pretty much cowboy entry over there. You took a sell. Price continued breaking down the support. Nice. TP closed right down over here. Yeah, it was beautiful. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is sells below this area, looking for buys above that area for price to continue up. That's good. I like that. Let's take a look at this. This is gold. This would be a solid entry if candle closes below on the 15-minute. Yes. Let's see here. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's actually pretty good because candle closed below support, stops above the candle. If you want the next one to continue down, you want it to respect the high of the previous candle, which looks like it did, and it's continuing bearish at this point. Looks like Alex sent the same chart twice. Yesterday we made a new rule that in the Zoom chat you cannot send charts twice. Because then I have to go through them twice, and I don't want to do that. Why watching your trades move is so stressful? Is that normal? No, it's not stressful at all. I mean, if you over risk, if you over risk and you go in a drawdown, then that's very stressful, But if you're not trading, if you're not risking a lot, then that's not stressful at all. So we're just waiting over here. Does he look at the chart sent in the YouTube live stream chat? Yes. Let's take a look at this Nasdaq chart over here. So you're looking for buys above this green line. Day is bullish, 4-hour bearish, but if the change on bullish, I'm waiting for an impulse entry after break the bullish wick. I think what you would want to see is also look to see if price is creating some sort of a support on the 1-hour time frame. Because if you can find support on the 1-hour time frame or 30-minute time frame, that could possibly give you some sort of confidence that, okay, price may continue to move up. So those smaller time frames are very important in that case. We got 10 minutes left for this candle to close, and the way it's closing, man, it's amazing. I mean, if this candle closes bearish down over here, I'm taking a sell for price to continue down. Let's take a look at this chart over here. Got in a sell when price broke the low. Oh, right over here or right over there? I think it was right over there. Close position when candle broke above the highs. Next time I should close 50%, let the rest run. Yes. Whenever you have a stop loss and stop loss is at a certain level, always close 50%. That's it. Always close 50% and then look to see that, okay, how you could have given your trade a second chance. So if you look at this chart over here, this is your JPY, and I'm only going to go over this once, right? So basically, you took a sell somewhere right over here. You took a sell here, you closed everything right here, and then that's it, right? So once you look at price now, you can see how we broke support by this candle. So maybe this was your second opportunity to take a sell. Because when I'm trading, I'm always giving my trades two chances. My bias. If I have a buying bias, I get stopped out, I'm going to give that buying bias a second chance. You know, because I believe that if I'm wrong once, I cannot be wrong twice. But if I'm wrong twice, man, then there's something wrong. You know, then I got to do something about that. Please give us your Zoom link. No, Zoom link doesn't work like that. Let's take a look over here. So we got nothing happening here today. We got clean skies and sunny days. No news for the USD. Nothing, just NZD employment change later on during the Asian session. How do I join market fluidity? Well, if you can find it, then you can find it. Otherwise, you know, the YouTube gulag is pretty good too. We got ADP tomorrow, which is going to be pretty interesting. They're looking at good numbers. So if people don't know what ADP is basically, ADP is a payroll company, right? They do majority of the payrolls for North America. So whenever you have NFP, ADP gives this report that, hey guys, these are the number of payrolls we generated this month, and this is what you can use to maybe like extrapolate the numbers which are going to be for NFP. So that's what ADP is. You know, it's like a company. So if you look at your payrolls, your checks you get, you'll see that most of them will have ADP in the top left corner. I'm not even joking. Go look at them right now. If you guys got checks in the last, you know, week, 2 weeks, go look at them. They'll say ADP in the top left corner. Nice. There was someone, they had gold sells over here based on a 15-minute time frame. Very nice. Is this where you were thinking? Yes, this is where I'm thinking over here. Even though, yeah, that's the deja vu I'm looking at right over here. See, yesterday, 1 hour candle closed bearish, small bullish candle. Next one just broke the low, continued down. Right over here too, same idea. You look at the 1 hour, kind of like the same situation as we had right over here. Right over here, same idea over here. So we'll have to wait for price to break below 143,520 for price to continue down. So potential sells below 143,520. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right over here. 143,520, and then we can continue bearish. The EU to temporarily withdraw staff from Northern Irish ports due to security concerns. So I honestly like how Raja handles that, because some people just want money and Raja doesn't throw his mentorship up as an ad. He wants the people to... Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, me, I can market about anything whenever I want on YouTube, right? Because we get like a large audience every day, and like, you know, the streams, they were built on value, you know, so I don't want to make anyone feel like they're missing out on anything being in the stream because they're not in the mentorship or they're not in the group or something like that. So that's why, you know, we just keep it very open. It's very open-ended, you know, everyone's allowed to say anything they want. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a 1 hour closing bearish, first 30-minute candle bullish. Entry right over here. Yeah, see, candle closed with no wick over here as well. Candle closed with no wick over here. You guys need to stop making these mistakes when candles close with no wick. How hard is it for people to just read the description which has all the information? It's pretty hard. Why do some traders take multiple positions on the same pair, same entry, same exit, as opposed to taking one trade? I think it's basically to do with a lot of trade management perspective, right? So let's say, so the question is, why do people take multiple positions on one pair? And I used to do that a lot. And the reason why I used to do that is because, let's say if I'm going to use a $5 lot, right? If I'm going to use a $5 lot, and then I'm going to be willing to open, let's say, 5 1 lots. So if I'm going to open 5 1 lots, that makes it easier for me to manage my trade, because, you know, if price goes in profit, then I can close down, let's say, like 3 positions and leave the 2 running, or I can close 4 positions, leave 1 running, you know, so it's easier that way. But But like, you know, as I kind of like evolved as a trader, I started to just use one bigger lot and then manage the trade that way. You know, and then we got magic keys, and now it's really easy to manage trades that way. So if you see right over here, we didn't really break the low, so there are no sells at this point. Your JPY here as well is kind of like consolidating over here. It's not really moving here at all. We got a minor support formed over here in your JPY. We got a minor resistance formed right over here. We're in a range. Gold came down to almost fill the wick. Pretty nice move. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here for the rest of the New York session. Really want pound yen to kind of like break somewhere. You know, if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm looking for buys on pound yen because the previous daily candle closed with no wick over here, right? So I really want this daily candle to continue pushing bullish because the trend is bullish. So we'll see what we can get here today. It would be fun if number of viewers is equal to the number of likes on the stream. Oh, that's never gonna happen. Hey bro, can you take a look at this? All right, let's take a look at this. Oh, wrong chart. Wrong chart sent in the gulag. Strong bullish candle close means we can take a buy to at least the first resistance. See, the problem in taking buys up to this resistance is that I don't think there's enough range. It's like a 17, 18 pip range, and within that range, we have this minor resistance over here. If you look on the 15-minute time frames, a lot of issues over here, a lot of wick rejections here. So this makes me a little bit worried to take buy within this range. You know, so that's why I want price to kind of like break above, you know, 143.740. So then we have a cleaner range going all the way up towards this area right over here, which is like also 14, 15 pips. But like, you know, even though with the daily trend bullish, I think we can still have a pretty nice move, pretty solid move above 143.740. So that's something I'd have to wait for. But within this range, it's going to get pretty tricky. Trade in gold, caught this trade. Nice. Yeah, we saw this trade. It's pretty nice. Candle closed below support. You took a sell, filled the wick. Beautiful. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a, is this a current chart? Took this trade overnight. All right, price came up. Target was here, then didn't have enough volume. Okay, closed about 8 pips in drawdown. Pretty good. Nice. You closed in drawdown. You managed risk over there, still nice. We expected price to continue up, but it basically created resistance. So at this point, we're just stuck at this resistance at this point here. If I was looking for sells, it's the same setup as yesterday. Probably not, you know, because the candle is closing bullish here on the 1 hour time frame. So it's probably not the same setup. Let's take a look at this chart here. This is a gold 1 minute chart. Entry on the 1 minute, retest with the break of the low. Oh, nice. Partial TP, stop loss 10 pips. Nice. What's your skincare routine? I don't know, man. There's one cream I used. It's some medicinal cream I use. It's pretty good. And like, you know, probably shower every day too, so that's also pretty important.
Fair and lovely.
Fair and lovely, no. All right, gold is coming up over here now. Gold tapped down into the support more. Oh, look at that. Our main area is down at 1835. Crazy. Let's take a look at this. This is like 40, 60, 66 pips away. 64, 65 pips away. Okay, so the 1 hour candles have closed at this point. Let's take a look at your JPY. Your JPY closing at support, bearish. Pound yen, 1 hour time frame, closing bullish over here. So creating the support, right? It's closing bullish, creating the support. Let's take a look on the 30-minute time frame. 30 minutes also closing bullish, but we got these rejections over here. And because of these rejections, I don't want to take this trade. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, it does look very clear that this was probably some sort of a fake out. Right over here, see we had support formed, price broke down support. This came back in the range, and now there's a probability for this candle to continue moving bullish. But at the same time, this is an opportunity that might work out, but I'm going to stay away from this opportunity only because on the smaller time frame, I have these rejections here to the left hand side. You know, and for me to take 100% confirmation trade, this doesn't align with my rules. So I would want to wait for price to break above either 143,740 or continue to, like, you know, break below this area right over here. So while you're trading, what's going to happen is you're going to get a lot of opportunities, right? You're going to get a lot of opportunities, and it's going to be up to you at the end of the day. What opportunities do you want to take, right? For me, this opportunity, I'm going to be willing to let it pass if it does continue moving bullish, because I'm waiting for this area to break. Can I send you after stream this night trade? Is there more information? Too long to read on stream? Oh yeah, sure. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a 15-minute chart. Break and close below support. Stopped out as a candle flipped bearish to break its own high. Nice. Entered sells. Very nice. So what happened? Did you manage risk? Did you secure positions? I guess you secured positions. I'm going to assume you secured some positions. Hey, I don't think your analytical strategy is the best, but your mindset I think is one of the best in the game. That's okay. I think my analytics, they're pretty good based on what I see. That's still fine. How do you keep believing in yourself after so many failed attempts? I'm new here, usually trade London. It's like, yesterday I was talking to somebody, and what we were talking about was different businesses, right? Like how to start a business, how to really go about starting a business, especially because what happens is normally what happens when you have a business idea, right? Let's say you have a business idea. Most times what happens is that people start to think about, oh, what's going to be the cost? What's going to be this cost? What about taxes? What about import costs and this and that? You know, the thing is, you just have to. I don't know what the fuck Paul is doing. But Paul Rebello needs to stop making these lines over here. Paul Rebello, come on, man. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe someone else has your mouse or something. So, yeah. Because, like, when you start a business, you just got to do it, you know? You got to do it, and then you got to think about, okay, like, what's going to be the repercussions of that. So I was having this conversation, and what they were talking about was that once you're in the last year of your university, what happens is that they tell you that the most successful people are going to be the ones who have not studied business, right? Because once you study business, not only you study business on, like, you know, how it moves, but you also study the downfalls of starting a business. You know, so when you're studying the downfalls of starting a business, you're starting to look at that and see that, okay, if I start a certain business, what's going to be the negatives of this, right? So from my perspective, it's just like, you just got to do it. Like if you have an idea of a product, if you know someone who makes that product in bulk, just go order it, because you got to get in the acumen of, like, you know, sales. You got to get in the acumen of marketing, of, like, you know, once you have the product, now you got to think about how to sell it, how to market it, what's your market, you know, all those things. They go hand in hand. In the past, I've started around, let's say, 8 businesses, and most of them failed. You know, we started to sell like you know, bracelets, failed. Weightlifting belts, failed. I started duffel bags, failed. You know, so whenever you have a failure, you're going to learn from that failure, you know, and then a point is going to come where you're going to succeed at one thing, and then you're going to go with it. Same thing with trading, right? When I started trading, I tried everything. I tried support resistance zones at the start, which worked amazingly. Then I started to work on Fibonacci's. They didn't really work. Trend lines for me didn't really work. Harmonics. I started patterns. I started a lot of things. I tried everything in trading, and most things didn't work. The only thing that worked was what we do right over here: price action, zones, confirmations, and execution. That's it. And at the end of the day, what I learned was that, okay, if I'm not going to learn from my losses, I'm never going to move forward. And the one thing that would always making me lose trades was trying to trade at any time of the day. Because whenever you come up to the charts, let's say your time to trade is during the New York session, and you're trading during the New York session. You take a trade, you win a trade, whatever happens. But then the problem is when you come to the charts while you're grocery shopping or while you're at the gym. That's what the problem is, because I see some people, when the gyms were open, I was just walking around and I saw this guy on his MetaTrader on the squat rack. Guy's doing squats and he's on his MetaTrader. I'm like, what are you doing? In my head, I'm like, man, this is like the worst time to look for trades while you're doing squats. Can you imagine? You can't even do full squats while you're in a drawdown. Yeah, meta squats. What I've noticed, impulse entry usually works only before 6:30. I think impulse entries work when there's a lot of volume. So we need a lot of volume in the market for the impulse entries to work. How confident are you with your property venture? I'm assuming you're pretty confident it's a secure business investment. Yeah, I mean, the way how I see it, if I'm going to invest, let's say $100,000 in a property, it's going to sit in that property. And the good thing about the market in Canada is that the property value is just going up in Canada. It's not coming down. It's just going straight up. So it's secure in that way. Can we take a trade on a YouTube stream as there is a delay of 15 seconds? Yeah, what trade do you want me to take right now? You want me to take a buy on pound yen or a sell on pound yen? Or maybe let's take a buy and sell on EUR/JPY and then close the losing trade. Let's do that. When there's a trade, we're going to take a trade. I mean, there's nothing to do at this point. EUR/JPY is ranging. Pound yen is ranging. No confirmations. Gold just retraced all the way back up to this support it broke earlier. So there's nothing happening at this point. Emotions are key in trading. Emotions, you got to keep your emotions in check. If you don't keep your emotions in check, trading is going to be a very, very difficult road for you. Let's see here. Hey Raja, if you consider volume so important for impulse, which it is, why don't you use volume profile? Because volume profile doesn't tell you the future volume. It doesn't tell you that. Volume profile, what it tells you is that what volume was there in the candle before the current candle. That's what it does. There's no way to tell you that if this candle is going to have a lot of volume. There's no way at all. I mean, if there was something like that, then like we wouldn't be here on the live streams. We would just be opening our own terminals and just like making a bunch of money. But it's not like that. Where did you learn the strategy from? Just by watching the charts. There's no strategy. It's just like understanding how the markets are moving. Is there a date on Dominion Markets? Yes, 8th February. So next week will be, you guys will be able to open accounts and register. And yeah, so we're going to start that way. I started a phone accessories brand, private labeling a couple years ago, started doing e-com dropshipping, and then I went to school to learn business properly, but to realize that it was a waste of time and energy. That's my personal experience. Yeah, I think you learn more about business by just doing it, basically. Just doing it. Because when we started Magic Keys, I clearly remember we ordered 100 Magic Keys. We had 100 Magic Keys. The first month, we sold 10 Magic Keys the first month, and we were thinking, man, like shit, we have all this inventory, who's gonna buy it? We only sold 10 in the first month, you know, and I was looking at my records. Just last week we sold 100, you know, so it took a full year of being patient and just dedication and continue on to do, like, you know, what you normally do, and it's just going to work. Most people don't have that patience, you know. Most people don't have that patience at all. And it also comes with risk too. Like, some people are afraid to take risk, afraid to order stuff, afraid to buy products, you know. So if you're afraid to buy products, same thing goes with trading too, right? Like, if you see a perfect setup, a lot of people are not going to take that perfect setup because there's that hesitation. You know, whenever you see a perfect setup and there's that hesitation, you got to take that setup, because most times what happens is, now some people may be able to relate to this, but what used to happen to me was, whenever I would see a perfect setup, I would wait for an extra confirmation. I don't know what confirmation I would wait for, even though it would be here, I would still wait for that extra confirmation, and then price would move in my favor, and then I would enter. And when I would enter, boom, drawdown, instant drawdown after that. You know, so then I had to learn to just execute on that confirmation that I see. You know, so whenever you see that confirmation, whenever you feel like, okay, this is it where I should be entering, just enter. You know, because what most people do is, when they see that perfect confirmations, they enter on their demo accounts, right? You enter on your demo accounts, but then you wait for that extra move on the live account. That's why you're always winning on the demo account and you're losing on the live account. You know, because you're not afraid to execute on the demo account with that confirmation, but somewhat, man, you're afraid to execute on a live account. So you have to really flip that mindset. Flip it. Let's take a look at this. What's this? Oh, magic keys. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of videos here on magic keys over here. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a USDCAD 15-minute chart. Okay, let's break down USDCAD over here, since price is ranging on the pairs I basically trade. So looking at USDCAD 4-hour time frame, 4 hours coming down, we basically created resistance. We're bouncing off of a support area and down over here. We also have a massive support down at 1.27650. Let's break it down on a 1 hour time frame and let's see what's going on. So looking at the 1 hour, we're basically back up at that retest area down over here, right? Back up at that retest area. We got a support down over here at this point. Looks like this range could be filled. If you measure this range, it's like a 29-30 pip range. Pretty good range to take a trade, to be honest. Looking at 30-minute time frame, 30 minutes closing bearish. Looking at the 15-minute time frame, I think we would need price to. Sir, can you please not interrupt me? Like, I really appreciate it. Yeah, what were you going to say? Yeah, I'd want to see probably a break below this area for price to continue down. Break below this area. Probably Jeevan had his speakers down.
Yeah, it came in. It was unmuted by accident.
Oh. See, Jeevan has a secret stream running in the background. He was talking to somebody. Maybe he was talking to himself.
No, sending voice messages to our chat. I was unmuted by accident.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were running a super secret scene with Warren Buffett on the side. Oh, yeah. Can you take a look at this trade I'm currently in? All right, let's see here. Actually, let's look over here. So the one I kind of created support, a little bit of a fake out over here. Looking at 30-minute time frame, we're coming up to this area. See, if we only look at, let's say, the 1 hour time frame, right? Just by looking at the 1 hour, this looks an extremely good buy, coming all the way up towards, 143,680 and moving all the way up towards, 143,720. But when we look at the 30-minute time frame, if we look at the 30-minute time frame, there's these rejections over here which make me really uneasy to take this buy, which is why I'm going to be sitting out on this buy or within this range. I'm not going to take a trade within this range because these rejections make me uneasy. It can go up, but I'm willing to sit out and wait for price to break above this area here. That's going to be a much better trade to take above 143.750. So I'm going to mark that up right over here. Potential buys above 143.750. This area right over here. We'll probably look for, 143.900, 920, all this area right over here. Looking on the 1 hour time frame, yeah. Like break above this area, come back in this range here from yesterday. Hey, cheers to another day by Brian Mercado. Once the trade is placed today, keeping in mind the small weekly range, is it safe to target the weekly low as a take profit? Oh, so we got a chart accompanied with that comment here. Let's take a look at this point. This is weekly target for buys. Yeah, that's the whole idea. And that high is going to be retested. If you look on the daily time frame, right, that's the high right over here. That's the wick fill right up over there. So if this candle continues moving bullish, we can fill this wick up at 144 to 100. That's basically what I'm looking for here as well. But I'm looking for buys above 143.740. Not in this range, outside of this range. Hey, do you use RSI as an indicator to take buys or sells? Your JPY RSI is at 30, so there might be a strong possibility for buys. Strong possibility for buys. I think strong possibility for buys is going to be about 126.420. That's going to be a strong possibility. You got like a 10-12 pip range over there above 126.420. Does that no wick rule only apply to the candle close? Yes, because when a candle closes, only then you can see if a candle has no wick, right? But the rejections, bullish candle all closed as doji, so can't you ignore doji? I don't know where you're talking about. That doji thing. Okay, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a global prime Nasdaq 100 price continuing up bullish. You got to buy down over here. So since this 30-minute candle is about to close in about 12 minutes, a support has been formed, and then there's a very good opportunity for price to continue up to your take profit. So that's a pretty good entry right there. And as this candle closes, I would also want you to probably put your stops at break even as well. Do you know yield nodes? No, I don't know yield nodes. So your JPY is still ranging over here. USDCAD has formed resistance on the 15-minute time frame. The 30-minute candle is still open over here. If this forms resistance, then I guess we can continue moving bearish in this range. With the weak dollar, yeah, we could continue down. Let's take a look at the Chinese indicator here. So the Chinese indicator is saying pound is strong and yen is there, whatever, euro is weak. Looks pretty good. Pound is strong. Dollar, it shows it's strong, but I'd like to go against that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a gold 5-minute chart. Made entry on the retest bearish candle, closed below resistance. Okay. Took this trade on the break retest idea. Yeah, I mean now since this candle is kind of like moving bullish here in your favor, let's take a look on the 5-minute time frame. I think it's good. I mean, if your stops are above this area and we're coming down on the 5-minute time frame, you may want to move your stops above the, above this area here, 118.47, for this candle to continue moving bearish. Because if you're creating this minor resistance here, then it should continue moving bearish. But looking at the 15-minute time frame, this candle is still open, right? So you want this 15-minute candle to stay bearish. And for the 15-minute candle to stay bearish, you want the smaller time frame candle to continue bearish. So it could get kind of tricky over here since you're executing this on the 5-minute and you're not waiting for the 15-minute candle to close. So gold is extremely difficult to trade, you know, because of its pullbacks, because of its retracements, deep liquidity pullbacks, you know, so it gets extremely difficult to trade gold. So if you're looking for consistency in the beginning, I don't think consistency in the beginning is going to come from gold because it's extremely difficult. How much spread on GJ on the Dominion markets? Standard spread, like 1.2 pips, 1.4, 1.5. You know, it's pretty standard. If you want really good spreads, man, IC markets, they have the best spreads. I'm not affiliated with IC markets, but I can't even lie. You know, IC markets, they have one of the best spreads. I was with IC markets for about a year and a half, man, amazing spreads. What they offer in GJ, I think they offer 0.7 or 0.8. IC markets have really, really good spreads.
Yeah, 0.8.
Yeah.
I'm with IC markets too.
IC markets are beast, man.
Yeah. The only reason I'm not with IC markets is because they got booted from Canada. Canada said, get out of here. And then had to change brokers.
They're cutting the leverage as well soon, so it's gonna have
Yeah.
to be Dominion market, so it's gonna be F2 traders the main.
Leverage is going to be cut down on all these big brokerages now. And you know, the only reason the leverage, like all these restrictions and regulations are coming in because people are just losing. You know, when people lose money in the markets, some people, they lose, they get sour, and then they complain, you know. And when they complain to the regulatory bodies, they're like, okay, well, you know, we got to clamp down the regulations because people don't know how to trade. They can't manage risk. And then everyone else who does trade and makes money, they get affected because of it. But IC markets offer global offshore accounts. Yes, they do. And those accounts are not regulated just like any other, like, you know, crypto broker. Let's take a look at this. Euro JPY buys over here. Euro JPY buys above this area. Yeah, look good. Looks good. This is something I think also we saw in the Capital Hungry stream in London session where they saw this drop. And then I guess they were looking for a retracement in New York. So break above this area would make sense for that retracement. Pound yen on the 1 hour is also moving up based on this fake out we identified. But I stayed out of this trade because I don't want to take a trade in this rejection area here.
No, over London session, I was looking at Euro USD.
Oh yeah, yeah.
US dollar has strength overnight, so that's why I was looking at that. But Euro JPY was a similar move too.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same moves they had down. Potential retracement later on. We'll see.
Bonito, morning. How do you like the 5-minute break on gold?
Hornito.
Bonito Jivan.
Pretty good. We had someone who took sells over here.
Nice.
I took sales. I took 20 pips on gold.
That's very nice.
So,
Yeah.
When you have two positions open on Magic Keys and you put a partial TP, will it affect both positions at the same time? No. You're going to have choice. It's going to show you a window that which position you want to put at partial TP. There's a new update. Maybe you want to download that new update. KOT FX has no spreads. That's impossible. That is impossible. Every broker has a spread. Do you use multiple monitors? Yes. Can you take a look at this trade? What could I have done better? Probably we're going to look at it in a bit over here. Price action works for you without indicators and you remain profitable. With that, just question, why not trade other currencies when there are clear zones and high chances like your JPY today? I realized that the analysis was the same. The thing is, for me, I firmly believe that every currency pair has its own personality, right? Pound yen is going to move in the same way as it would in almost every New York session, London session. Like pound yen is going to be affected by the pound only, obviously, right? So when you're looking at your JPY may move a little bit differently than pound yen, you know, and also when it comes towards like, you know, volume, volatility, the ranges. Because if you look at your JPY ranges might be like about, let's say 12 pips, 15 pips. At the same time, pound yen may have a range of about, you know, like 18 to 20 to 22 pips, right? In the same respect, if you look at a USD JPY, like the USD dollar, you'll also notice, USD yen, you'll notice that the ranges on USD JPY are like way smaller than pound yen and euro yen. So it's not always a good idea to kind of like look at the different pairs and try to take trades on that, because like, you know, they all have different ranges, you know, like they all have different like volume. They're all affected by different things in the market, like different fundamentals, you know, it affect them. So they're extremely different. That's something you start to understand once you just focus on one pair, and when you move to another pair, then you see those small differences. You're like, oh yeah, this pair is different in these certain ways, you know. And all I can see is that euro yen, they may have certain moves in certain way it forms price action, but the ranges are different. Look at this range over here. This is like a 9 pip range, and if you look at pound yen over here, pound yen has like a 18 to 20 pip range, right? So those are some differences, which is why you should only focus on like, you know, one pair or maximum 2 pairs. Are Australians able to open an account on? Yes, we're gonna have more information as we continue on through this week, yeah, and then we'll see where we can get from there. Has your trading changed? When I watch your old videos, you were taking swing trades and you were trading several sessions. Yes, it has changed a lot. It has changed dramatically. I've stopped trading a lot of pairs. I only focus on one pair. I only focus on one session. And I think that's got a lot to do with profitability as well. All right. Let's take a look over here. Entry over here. I don't think this was an entry. Entry would have been if this candle broke the high, but whatever. Again over here, this wasn't an entry. Entry would have been if this candle broke the high. So, you know, one candle breaking above the zone, especially on the 15-minute time frame, doesn't mean price is going to go up. You want confirmations. So you can't enter at the tops. If you're going to enter at the top, at least wait for the high to be broken. You know, can't. Oh, play that ad? Okay. Let me see if I can bring that up over here. I think you'll see it on the YouTube. Jeevan, that's a very nice one. Jeevan helped me make that ad. All right. Let's take a look over here. Pound USD candle move. Oh, nice. Yeah, if this candle is closing bullish over here, 30-minute candle is also closing above this area. I think we can continue moving up to do a little bit of a retracement. Someone in the Gulag asked, oh, has the stream ended? No. Because usually we
advertisement.
Because usually we play it, you know, when the stream ends.
Oh, sorry about that. I thought you play a couple times in between. You know what I mean, like a commercial break.
Oh no, just at the very end. So the guy's like, "Yo, did the stream end?" Why it was not a good idea to take the sell when the candle closed weak bullish? Because the candle closed bullish. Why would we take a sell when the candle is closing bullish, right? If this candle closing bullish, does this mean a sell? No, it doesn't mean a sell. You know, a candle closing bearish means a sell. So that's why we can't. And if you look on the 1 hour, the candle's moving just as we expected. If we came back in the range, it should come up towards, 143,720. Decided to sit out on this trade over here. Gonna wait for price to break above 143,750, 740, and then take some buy positions.
Roger, I know you work well with the funding talent people. Is your broker going to be with them by any chance?
No, not really. But Eddie, it seems like you're far, far away. You gotta move your mic closer. All right. Hey, I'm in a GU buy. Could you take a look when you're free? Would love your analysis. All right, Mr. Pat Butcher. We will take a look at this. Mr. Pat in a GJ buy. GU buy. Okay, yeah, looks good. This is a chart we looked at here earlier on. I think it was right over here for candle to continue moving bullish. If you see right over here, it is actually continuing bullish over here, tapped into this main support over here. Also, you can see the amount of liquidity grab down over here, right? Candle broke below support, but closed back above support. So this is a huge liquidity grab for price to potentially continue moving bullish. And I think this is going to be a pretty good target up over here for price to come up. Are you looking for impulse above 750 or a candle close? I'm looking for probably a candle close above 143,750 and then execute on a buy for price to continue up. So this is me planning a trade. I'm planning a trade above 143,750 or below 143,520. That's what I'm planning at this point right now. It's very important to plan trades. Yesterday we had a nice move here, clean move, in the start of the stream. But today we have to wait a little bit. Let's see here. Hey Raja, can you please take a look at this chart? This chart is sent by Mr. Loco Moco. Mr. Loco Moco from the Gulag. Let's see here. This is a pound USD buy. Oh, nice on the trend line. Okay, looks good. Looks good. We had kind of like the same analysis here for price to continue bullish. And I think it should continue moving bullish. We can look at pound yen over here as well. It's moving nice bullish over here within this rejection area. This would have been a pretty nice trade if we executed on a 1 hour time frame. We identified it though, as a fake out. Now it's moving up here slowly. How much has it moved? 9 pips? Oh, 8 pips. 8 pips minus spread, around 7 pips, 6 pips. What's the Gulag? You are in the Gulag. Hey Raja, what is liquidity grab? I've been watching your videos. Sorry I haven't got to where you explain this. Gulag, oh no, liquidity grab is basically a move in the opposite direction, right? If you see a candle moving bullish and if it moves down, that's your liquidity grab. That's what we say, that's a liquidity grab. It's like grabbing momentum or like rocket fuel for price to continue moving up. I purchased the risk management class. When will I get the link for the live stream? I think it's going to be on the day of that. So if people don't know what the risk management class is, it's right over here. This is the risk management class on YouTube. You can see it. We're hosting this virtual risk management class on the 21st February. It's free for market fluidity. So you guys don't have to enroll in it. You guys will get access to it, no problem. But anyone in the Gulag, if you want to really learn about risk management, this is going to be the class right over here. It's not expensive at all. It's like $50. You know, so $50, you're gonna learn a year's worth of risk management here. So I think enroll in this, and it's gonna be a good time.
Hey there, Roger.
Hello.
Hey there. Yeah. So, guys, definitely about the risk management. I've pretty much been on like so many courses, and nobody teaches risk management where you've got it like down. And also, like, you know, when people say, buy at the bottom, sell at the top, but you know, nobody tells you exactly how much you should be putting in, how much you should be cutting off, how to get out, look at the signal, and just, you know, pull your hands up and say, look, this is wrong, and get out. Nobody does that. They just say, this is where you buy, that's where you sell. And in practice, I've not seen anyone else show the in-depth management the way you've got it down. So, you know, especially it's a unique product that you have there, you know.
And also, I didn't pay him anything to say that.
Oh no, this is no payment at all. No payment at all. But do you know what I mean? You can look anywhere on the internet and look at anybody's course, and actually nobody's got risk management, except when they say just put 1% per trade. You know, that's as much as risk management it goes, and I've not seen it anywhere else. I've not seen anybody, you know, do an impulse. And if you technically look at an impulse entry, we're buying tops and we're selling bottoms. But how do you manage that? You know, if it's technically, you know, people say don't do that, but we're managing that as well. So, you know, it's not in any other book. It's not in any other course, unless somebody can show me. But I've read most of them. I've read most of the books. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Can you give any hint how to trade index? If you look at the chart once a day or less, in Sweden, the government have a big part of the person's pension to be managed by the person himself. Index, how to trade indexes? I think you need to take a look at those indexes and see how price moves on those indexes. I'm not sure if you're trying to trade the Swedish index, which I don't know nothing about. I've never seen that chart. So I'm not sure if that even respects price action or not. So maybe you'll have to look at that chart and see what's going on a certain index. Would the liquidity grabs be more effective above, below, high, lows? Is that where people put their stops? No, liquidity grabs are just price that move the opposite way if it's going to move up. I think you're thinking way too much about liquidity grabs at this point. Did the pressure of many people watching you affect the way you traded when you started the live streams? No, not at all, because when we started live streams, we were already addressing probably like 100 people in our Zoom chats, you know, because before we started a live stream, we used to have private webinars, so private New York sessions we used to have, like on Zoom session with all our groups, and we still had people like, you know, watching. So when we jumped onto the live streams, it just became a challenge that, okay, can we just take one trade and have that trade to be a profitable trade? The challenge came when you have a lot of people watching you. The challenge is when you take a loss, what do you do after that loss? Do you let that loss get to you and then you go into over trading, or then you go into gambling? Or do you take that loss and then address the audience and say, okay, you know, guys, we took a loss. That's perfectly fine. We're going to come back the next day. You know, so then you got to realize what's the more mature approach. Because when you're sitting by yourself on a computer and you take a loss, you want to take another trade and you want to make that loss back. And slowly but surely you move into over trading, you move into over risking, and things go south really quick. You know, so when I take a loss, I just say, hey, like, you know what, we tried, we executed, we took a loss, no problem. Now we're going to come back the next day. You know, so that's just to show what you should be doing when you take a loss. Most people, man, you guys can't handle losses. You know, and some people can, and that's very amazing, but most cannot handle losses. Because the thing about trading is, think about this, right? My buddy started trading in about 1995. You know, he's way older than me. And what they used to do was they used to see price points. And they used to see price points during a certain hour, and they would plot out candles on those price points. So if they had to take a trade, they had to plot out candles for the previous day to see where prices are going to move the next day. So they can only execute on like 2 trades a day, maximum 2 trades a day. Man, now you have MetaTrader, you have MetaTrader on your phone, you have cTrader, you get you have all this technology on the tip of your hands that you can just risk your money within a second. You know, imagine everyone had to run a mile before they hook a trade. You know, so just think about it. How many people are going to run, you know, 1 mile to take a trade? Probably everybody. You know, how many are going to run another mile to take another trade? Probably no one. Maybe some people might do that, you know, but like the point is that if you had to like, you know, like jump around hoops, or if you had to go through a certain processes to take a trade, you'd always take like 1 or 2 trades. But here, man, this technology, all these platforms, they make it so easy to risk money. These platforms are designed to make you trade. These are designed so that you can take losses, because they know that our own psychology is built against us, you know, and that's to chase money. And when you have certain programs like this and you start trading and you start over trading and over risking because it's so easy, you know, so you got to be very careful over here. Somebody going to take a loss in GU. Hope it's not me.
Yeah, there's some Brexit headlines coming right now with some low
yeah?
tensions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming back down to the support area. These are the rejections and wicks I don't like when price is moving.
I think Japanese yen and like the US dollar standalone right now are holding some strength short term. It would make sense if like a lot of these pairs like GJ, Euro USD, or GBP USD, they've been bullish for so long, to get a little bit of exhaustion, especially because it's only the second day of the new month, but still just been ranging.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like start of the February. Do we have? No, we don't have interest rates for pound. Oh yeah, we do. We do have interest rates for pound. This guy is always talking. You know what? This guy. No, this guy, he leveled up in front of my eyes a lot. He went from a gulag trader to someone where like, oh wow, shit, man. Like, are you good?
Gulag trader.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh man.
Oh, look at
Yeah,
that.
we all put in that work back in the day, you know what I mean? Hours and hours on end.
I think 2017 and 2018 was the year when a lot of people broke out of their shell. All right, this candle's about to close over here. The 15-minute candle on GU, we're closing bearish. GJ is still back in this range over here, so we'll have to wait to see if it does come down below support or not. But if it's closing below support, I think the next one should easily continue bearish at this point. Oh, it's a 5 pip range over there, not much at all. Would it be good to take buy if your JPY break and finish above resistance? If it breaks and finish above resistance, let's remove all analysis here. Let's go towards a smaller time frame. Yeah, that'll be good. You know, above 126,400, you could look for buys above there. 126,400. If you break above that area, then yes, makes sense. Do you find there to be correlation between GU and GJ? There is a correlation, but there's a big non-correlation as well, and that comes from the fact that the pound USD is mostly influenced by, like, you know, the strength in the dollar at this time, which is why you can see it might fall a lot. And also, like, you know, it's influenced by the pound. But if you look at pound JPY, if there's no strength in pound, then pound JPY should start ranging, you know, if there's no strength in pound. If that's, like, you know, bullish or bearish. But if you look at pound USD, if it continues moving bearish, then you could say, okay, like, you know what, maybe the dollar is getting stronger at this point, just like Devin mentioned. Because if we break support, there's a higher probability for it to continue down to this wick fill over here. And yeah, that could happen at that point. But at the same time, if pound yen doesn't move, then that means, like, you know, pound yen is only influenced by the pound because yen is closed at this point.
And the Brexit headlines are pretty funny too. So it's like a little drama, you know what I mean, between the EU and the UK. Apparently, the EU didn't tell the UK about the restrictions on vaccines. So now they said this has destroyed their trust. So this might just cause GP pairs to range a bit more. You know what I mean? Be indecisive.
So it's
That's
like,
what it said.
so it's like me saying, "Hey, Jiman, why didn't you let me know when you went out?"
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you got Lagarde over there. You know, I mean, she's getting a little dramatic. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a Euro JPY chart. Rejection over there. NY might open, might break the support with volume. Okay. Yeah, that target is pretty good down over there. What's that price? 126.260? Yeah, it makes sense because you got a huge rejection there. So if you break the support, then it makes sense for it to continue bearish. What is the green line on the border of the screen? Oh, this green line? Green line go. This green line basically changes with the color of my Raja Bank sign in the background. So if I change the Raja Bank sign to purple, this green line is going to become purple. It's color coordinated. All right. Any advice for a serious 15-year-old trader? First of all, you can't be serious when you're 15. I mean no offense. Just way too young right now.
Go enjoy recess. You know, like.
No, we gotta go easy. That's true too. But like, listen, if you're 15, the best thing to do at this point is to just pick one pair and really start studying that one pair. You know, just pick one pair, whether it's like pound yen, pound USD, Euro JPY, gold. Just choose one pair and just study that one pair. That's all what you got to do. Don't focus on taking trades. Don't focus on taking wins, profits, losses. Just study that pair. Because man, if I was 15 and if I was exposed to all this information, my life would have been completely different at this point. So that's what you got to do. You know, you are at a very crucial age, and man, the amount of information available to you at this point is just crazy. Like, you know, I'm very envious of someone who's in their early 20s, you know, moving into their 20s at this point with all the information, with all these streams and webinars, man. Because like when we first started trading, and if we wanted information from somebody, the first response we would get, well, you have to pay this much to get this information. And I was like, what? You know, and that's the reason why we started these live streams. You know, because maybe there could be someone like me trying to learn, and they can basically come over here and they can join some other streams and live streams and they can learn from that. All right, UK government says it was a serious mistake by the commission. Oh. UK government said trust has been eroded. UK government says trust has been eroded. Man, it's crazy. UK government says EU did not consult us on Friday vaccine restriction. Yeah, a bunch of drama happening over there. All you Brits are so melodramatic. Lagarde did something, and then the UK is basically not very fond of that. When do you think is it time to go full-time trading? I'm just 17, so I don't have a job to compare trading income to my salary. I think the best time to go full-time trading is when you have consistent income and you have 1 year's worth of bills saved up on the side. That's the best time to go full-time trading. Well, I'm still going to say part-time trading. Full-time trading, you should go, okay, so I'm going to break this down. So since price is ranging over here, I'm going to break this down on what's the best time to go full-time trading. Now when I look back, the one mistake I made was I went full-time trading when I had money stored in the bank, and I felt like I'm some sort of a Superman, you know. So that's when I went full-time trading. Big mistake I made because, you know, like I wasn't really consistently withdrawing at that point. So whoever's thinking about going to full-time trading, the best thing is going to be to just focus on if you can withdraw certain things, right? So also take a look at what are your monthly expenses. Let's say your monthly expenses are $3,500. Oh, it's 35,000. Let's say if that's $3,500, right? Out of this $3,500, you got to make a goal, right? So you got to break your expenses down, and you got to identify what's your smallest expense a month. So let's say your smallest expense a month is $80, and that's your internet, right? So I think in the starting point, your goal should be to withdraw $80 a month from your trading account, because the entire idea behind full-time trading is to supplement your bills from trading from your job. That's what you got to do at that point, right? So when you're starting trading and when you're starting in the habit of withdrawing money, focus on withdrawing $80 a month, because if you can focus on $80 a month, you can then put this towards your internet. And then you can look back and say, okay, what, I withdrew $80 and this is going towards my internet. So maybe if you start to do that 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe 4 months down the road, you're able to withdraw $200, and then you can possibly put that towards some other bills too. So slowly you're going to start to withdraw more and more and more. And then you're going to start to find that, oh, hey, what, maybe now I can withdraw my rent and pay my rent from trading. And that's the point where you can kind of say that, okay, what, now I see a means to an end. I'm withdrawing enough money to maybe go part-time at my job, or maybe I'm withdrawing enough money to maybe quit my job at that point. $3,500 expenses per month. I'm sitting at $400 to $500. Well, mine are more. My expenses are close to like $5,000. That's including mortgage, cars, insurance, and stuff like that. Man, some people cars are worth $5,000. Can you imagine? All right, let's
GU's going to fill that wick like you were talking about.
GU, yeah.
Definitely.
Did a bit of a liquidity grab. I think someone took a paper trade over here. Let's take a look. Practice chart. This is New Zealand USD. Sells below this area over here. Looks good. Perfect. Looks good. You got clean traffic here to the left hand side. It looks extremely good here. And with the strength in the dollar, it looks good for it to continue down too. So New Zealand USD, it looks pretty good, Vanessa. Benny, Euro GBP. Euro GBP, close above resistance plus clean traffic to the left hand side. Yeah, I mean, if you get the 30-minute candle closing in a bit over here, and NY volume can push this up if you get that close above that area. Are you married? I don't know how that relates to trading, but yes.
Married to the pips.
Married to the pips.
That's a delicate situation.
Yes, a delicate
Talking
situation.
about. Oh man.
What do you think about taking credit for trading? Don't do that. The worst thing you can do is to take out a loan to trade. Don't do that. Stay away from taking loans to trade. I know people have taken loans from trading. I know some people here are managing other people's money and you're losing money. Just stop it. That's a very delicate situation. When you get money from people and you want to pay them back, and then you get more money from people to pay the others back while you're trading and you're not making profits, man, that's a very stressful situation. So you gotta stop it. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. I knew this was going to be a 1 minute chart. When Jeevan sent it,
I was just trying to show Kerwin, man.
Oh, okay.
I know you don't like this. There's some nice market structure on gold lower time frame right now. I'm watching that 1849 price point. You know, he's got some nice lows printed there.
Let's take a look over here, 1849.
I'm watching that as like a make or break area with when NY volume comes in, just because sometimes when NY volume comes in, these lows on gold on the intraday, they get bought up pretty quick if we don't break that downside of that range. But as long as we maintain below like that 1850 area, I still think we're just going to be playing sells down to like back down to like 1836, 1830s. So I'm watching that 1849, 1850 point for like a retest or how we react there for like a make or break decision on the lower time frame.
Yeah, I agree. We're playing in massive big range on gold, man. If we can grab some nice buys on top of the 1848, I mean, that'd be nice.
Yeah, we broke out of this consolidation, came down, and now it's forming another consolidation over here.
Yeah, but usually when before New York open, we only had these massive pullbacks to retest previous area of previous structure. So be aware that you at any given point you can get a break from here to retest this area. And that's nice, like 60 pips up there. And that the beauty of gold is that 60 pip you can get. We know we can get in 15 minutes we can get at least 30 pips on gold. And when it pulled back really heavy. Other than that, sells really nice, sells below that. This area is really nice too.
Okay, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is patience or buy. Well, the candle's about to close at this point, and NY open is going to start. So I would want to wait at this point. Looks like pound yen is also coming down over here at the support. Beautiful. GU is filling this range. I think as it continues to fill this range, NY open can continue pushing it bearish. But I'm going to be keeping my eye on pound yen over here in 2 minutes. It's going to be a pretty good sell below 143.550. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And Benny, if you look at pound, euro pound over here, with pound dropping, that would push euro pound up, because that's going to be the weakness in the pound to push euro pound up. So we want pound yen to break the support and continue down, and you want euro pound to go up. Y'all need to chill on the roasting on these live streams. Oh, not even. Y'all need to be less sensitive. Y'all, whenever someone says y'all, automatically I think they're from Texas. Y'all need to be. How do you feel about putting a pineapple on pizza? Probably not. Never. If you put pineapple on pizza, man, don't talk to me.
Why, man? What happened?
I don't know, man. Pineapple and
You
pizza?
know that Hawaiian pizza is made of chicken, pineapple.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean,
it can stay in Hawaii, man. It can stay in Hawaii.
Come on, pineapple, man. That's disgusting.
Hey, Raj, do you think the candle's like too big now to buy on Euro GBP?
Well, you gotta wait for it to close. You still got, I mean, you still gotta wait for it to close. I would wait for it to close, me personally. But if you miss it and it continues moving, then you could probably look back and say where you could have re-entered that trade.
Okay. But like right now, if you pull up the chart, do you think it's too late? Because it moved like almost 10 pips.
And you can make me open the chart over here. Hold on. Euro GBP. Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It pulled up a lot too fast. Came up to that rejection area.
So when volume starts to push before the candle closes, like 2 or 3 minutes before, would you still wait, or when it's a push like that, just get in? Or
I'd still wait.
all right.
I'd still wait. Just like right over here. We still got about 2 seconds left, 1 second left. It closed right at support. Right at support, this candle closed over here. See, if this candle starts to come down right in the first 4 or 5 minutes, I wouldn't want to take a sell, because I want it to kind of like retrace first and then come down. So it's retracing now, which is good, because if it's retracing it might be creating a top wick, and if it continues breaking the low over here after retracing, then that's going to be a pretty good entry to execute on. Oof, such a delicate situation here. The way it closed, do you not take full risk on these type of trades? I'm not taking any trade over here. See, now if it comes down to break the low, I'm going to be executing. I'm going to have my stops above this candle, and then we're going to anticipate it to continue moving bearish. Down towards, I think at least 143, 380 would be good. Right down over here. That's what I'm going to target at this point. Oh wow, GU retraced all the way up over there. Yeah, so this is what I want to see at this point. Didn't you manage trading accounts in the past? Yes. I made peace with that, paid everyone back, and now we're just chilling. All right, we made this top wick. This is perfect. You know, so if you know about candle anatomy, the top wick has been made over here. So if we start breaking the low, this means there will be higher probability for the candle to continue down, since it has made a lower high, it has broken the low to make a lower low, you know. So unless that doesn't happen, there's no trade. But if it does happen, then that's going to be pretty good entries for sells. To this point, we're just waiting. You would execute even when the candle closed with no wick? Yes. Yes, I would still execute. Because this is the time of volume. This is when there's going to be volume in the market. And it's also NY open, so we can expect price to continue down, especially when we have this confirmation here to the left hand side. Do you trade off trends or just candle anatomy? Candle anatomy is just a word given to understanding candles. You know, I mean, the candle has a top wick and a bottom wick. That's it. There's no science behind candle anatomy. All right, we're coming down. Used to come down a little bit lower, and then we're going to execute in this position, and we can expect price to continue down. Come up to like 143, 530. Closer to 520, and then I'm going to be executing this sell. All right, perfect. Keeping the stops above this current candle and really expecting price to continue down in this range over here. Are you in? Yes. So we've made a top wick over here. We made top wick, created some sort of a liquidity grab, and we're breaking the low over here. Now, as long as this candle stays below its own high, there's a high probability it should continue down first to fill this wick. And I think with volume in the NY session, it should possibly continue down over here, especially when we have these clean candles here to the left hand side. And now talking from a risk management perspective, obviously, we have our targets down over here, and this is where we're going to take profits. But when we look at it from a risk management perspective, we have to take a look on the smaller time frame. Let's say on the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute, we really want this candle to continue bearish. But if this 15-minute candle closes bullish, or if it closes back in the range, I'm closing my trade at that point. Because if this candle closes back in the range, then there's no point in holding a trade that's basically closing back in the range, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Gold is also trying to break down over here lower, 1842. All right. Let's see here. You have no idea how long I failed before it became profitable. It takes time. The traders who succeed are the ones who go through the struggle and don't give up. Yes, that's exactly true. You just got to continue on. But the thing is, whenever you have losses, you got to learn from those losses too. Most people don't learn from those losses, and they just keep on taking trade after trade after trade after trade, and it doesn't really work that way. Someone said, I'm waiting for the 1 hour to break. Couldn't be broken with the past 1 hour. Let's take a look on the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, that's good. I mean, we have this confirmation here, this big bearish candle with a huge liquidity grab up over there. And if we're breaking the low on the 1 hour time frame, I think it should continue moving bearish. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. 4 hour is also bearish over here. It's just the fact that, are we going to continue closing below 143,550? Or are we going to close back in the range? So this is what I'm looking at. If you close above 143,550, I'm closing my trade. How much do you make on an average? I don't know, like 450, 600, something around that. But it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, it doesn't really concern with anyone, because you're only you're responsible on what you do and how you take profits. Hey, I have a $2,000 account. How much I should use for this trade? I think for this trade, you should use maybe 0.01 lots. I mean, you gotta know your risk management. Oh, take care, Jeevan.
Here, Nito.
At what point would you close 50%? I'm probably going to close 50% if... I know I mentioned I'm going to close everything if you close back in the range, but since you mentioned it, I'm probably going to close 50% if price closes back above 143,550 on the 15-minute time frame. That's when I'm going to close 50%, and then I'm going to leave the rest running. Where is Uncle Ted? Uncle Ted is probably at his home. Where else should he be? Ooh, gold is on the move over here as well. Yeah, gold should continue down to 1835.
You know that GJ can give you a nice drop below the 500 area, at least to 143,443, I will say. Should be a quick move with the next 15-minute candle. I just want to see another retest to the previous lower time frame. But yeah, anything that rejects that 143,600 is gonna be nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I mean, we got the 15-minute candle closing in about 5 minutes, and if it closes bullish, I'm going to close 50% at this time. And then just let the rest run to profits or to stop loss. Yeah. What's the process on removing a risk? You actually close partial loss? Yes. But what if the trade hits your stop loss? Isn't the same amount in general loss? No. It's not, it's different. Because let's say, for example, you have a 1 lot open at this point, right? You have a 1 lot open, your stop loss is, let's say, 10 pips, so your risk is $100 at that point. But if you close 50%, let's say in a 2 pip drawdown, and 50% is going to be what, like 50-cent lot? So 50-cent lot is going to be what, like $10, right? So you take a $10 loss, and now you have a 50-cent lot open at that point. And if that 50-cent lot hits your stop loss at 10 pips, you're losing maybe $40 at that point. So $40 plus $10, you lost $50 instead of $100. So that's how you're managing risk. Probably less, probably a little bit more than that, but still you're losing less than what you anticipated to lose in the beginning when you took the trade.
Also, Rakeel, we closed the previous 4 hour closed as a bearish candle, and now with this 4 hour we've broken that low, and we've got 50 minutes left for this 4 hour to close. So I mean, I think it should be fair to say we could get a push to like 143, 400, 380 level. Does make sense to me. So
Makes
I
sense.
can't see this flipping back to bullish, this 4 hour candle as of now. But I mean, you never know.
What are you trading? It's pound JPY. I have a sell on pound JPY. That's what I'm trading at this point. How do you draw exactly support resistance? Same like you. I don't know, just gotta put them right over here. We got about 3 minutes left for this 15-minute candle to close. And the way it's moving at this point, I just closed 50% at this point. I just closed 50% while it was down over there. Got 3 minutes left, coming back in the range. I mean, there's a probability it can continue moving bullish, so I closed 50%. My stop is right over here. If it comes to my stop loss at this point, I'm going to lose way less than what I anticipated to lose. Right? Slowly it's coming up. So instead of hitting stop loss, I closed everything at this point. You know, so let's say if you had a 30-cent lot, and your risk was, let's say, $30, you lost about like $14 at that point. You know, so gave one shot for the sell didn't really work. So this was like one chance I gave my bias. A second chance to give my bias is going to be once we start breaking this low here again. You know, so whenever you're taking trades and you're managing risk, the idea about managing risk is, let's say if you manage risk in your first position, you can use the risk you took off and use that risk in the second time you're going to give your bias a chance. That's the beauty about managing risk. But if you take a loss and then you take another trade after that loss and another trade to make up that loss, man, it's going to be very difficult at that point. So you got to be very cautious of what you're going through. You know, so we had a win yesterday. Yesterday's trade was like, what, like 15 pip win? And today, this was what, like, let's say a 4 pip loss. Right? So trade 1, GJ, sells. Negative, I had like a 4.5 pip loss over here. Because secured partials and the rest almost hit stop loss. So yes, yep.
Sorry. Continue. I've got a question, but I'll see you once.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I know you're managing risk, but I mean, we haven't broken above the 15-minute, or we haven't broken above the 30-minute, and the candle still hasn't closed. Wouldn't you say you closed out a little bit early of your position? Although I know you are managing risk, but
yeah. Well, it's from what I've seen is the way it was moving up here, it had a higher probability to close above 143.550, and we still got 1 minute left over here. So for me to manage risk was very important.
Okay.
Yeah, because even if this drops from here in the next 20 seconds, it still wouldn't really bother me at all because I followed my risk rules, I managed risk, so that's all what counts for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, you know, there's a lot of intuition over there, a lot of experience over there, watching things happen over and over again. Yeah.
The only problem I've got, like, with 15-minute time frames is, like, what I've realized as I've started to gain experience. I mean, higher time frames usually, which is currently bullish. I know we're taking a counter trend, but I mean, with the 15-minute candles, we get a lot of noise, so we get a lot of up downs, which sometimes can get confusing for me. Well, yeah, that's what I used to get, because I used to see, like, let's say we're in a bearish trade right now, and I used to see a 15-minute candle, and I used to be like, oh damn, like, do you know what I mean? But then the next candle would come and it would just continue as a bearish candle. But yeah, I'm just giving it as an example, but I've realized there's a lot of noise on the lower time frames. So.
Yeah. So the 15-minute candle is closing back in the range over here. Yeah, see, it's respecting that support. Very, very delicate at this point now. So for me to give my bias a second chance, I would want it to actually break below these lows at now 143.520. Now when I look back at it, I think it was a little bit too premature entry over here, but you know, paid the price. So now we really want price to like kind of like break below these areas to continue down. But the good thing is we managed risk over there and we managed our trade at this point when it comes to risk management. Ooh, gold also went back in the range. Let's take a look at your JPY. Your JPY closed above. Next candle closed like a doji candle. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. Pound yen 1 hour chart. Safe sells below 143.500. Okay. Looks good. It failed to break 500 and break above 800 potential buys. Okay, potential buys above this area and sells below this area. I like that too for buys. That's what I was waiting for buys as well. For sells over here, yeah, I think my entry was a little bit too immature. But we'll see if we can give this trade a second chance below this level over here, 143.520, as we had planned from the get-go. Below this area would be pretty good here still. So we'll have to wait. The market ranging before the NFP. Yeah, we got a lot of things this week. You got NFP, you got ADP, you got unemployment on Thursday, ADP on Wednesday. You got pound interest rates on Thursday. You know, it's a lot of things happening over there. So if you look over here, had a small loss over here, 4.5 pip loss. Yesterday had a 15 pip win. So overall still profitable for the week. The only thing that's going to make you unprofitable is if you compound on losses. I keep saying this over and over again. Don't compound on losses. You take a loss, just step back and try to see what happened. So over here, I think it was a premature entry. If I had £1 every time Raja says over here or over there, I would be a millionaire. Probably you'd have a few $1,000s. Probably not a million, but a few $1,000s. Can you look at WTI oil for me? I think if you read the screen, oh no, it doesn't say that anymore. I think you need to send a chart. Send a chart and then we're going to take a look at that chart and see what's going on. Gold is now breaking these lows here again. This is a very, very difficult day today. It's not straightforward day at all today. Not at all. It's not straightforward at all. Made $5 yesterday, lost $7 today. Yeah, you need to work on your risk management. If you're losing more than what you're making, you got to work on your risk management 100%. Would you give sells another chance if we get a close below support on 30-minute? Yes. Yes, I would. I would give my sells a second chance, especially if we come below, 143.520. Wow, GU is also a mess. Look at this 15-minute, came down to support, bounced right up, and now coming straight back down. It seems like every time I up my lot size, I get a losing trade, shake my head. Yeah, that happens sometimes, But what you got to do is, you have to keep the same lot sizes. Whenever you increase the lot size and you have a losing trade, you want to reduce the lot size on the next trade, keep the same lot size. Because when you win the next trade on a smaller lot size, it's not going to offset the loss. So you always got to keep the same lot size. So even though if you win the next trade, it's going to partially offset the loss you had on the first trade. And man, gold is really coming down through the support area.
Yeah.
Ooh, straight down 1835. Broke below this wick over here. It's like 48 pips.
It should continue.
Yeah, it was such a big range. Wow, 45 pip range over there. If you took a trade risking $500 as your daily target and you lost $350 in the trade, taking a second entry, will you risk $150? Yes. Yes, that's what I would do. Because whenever you come to the charts, you need to have a certain risk in your mind. Like, what's the amount you're going to risk for the day? That's what you need to keep in mind. And you need to risk that amount. And if you look over here on gold, we can see it bounced off of our support over here to the left hand side. See all these rejections here from 27th January and then again on 28th January in pre-London. Instead of keeping my lot size fixed, I use magic keys to always have the same risk percentage. Is that okay? Yes, that's still perfectly fine. If you can see right over here, price is not easily moving down here. It's kind of like having some issues. Tissues. Can I make 100K a week? Probably in a casino, not over here. It's going to take a long time. I think the only way is to open your trade in multiples of what you would to cover. 5 lots of 10K for a 50K trade. Oh, there's something else. This is where trading can be stressful. I'm not stressed at all. Do you guys see me stressed right now? Not at all. The only time you're going to be stressful is if you've taken 6 losses, let's say, or 4 or 5 losses in a row. Or let's say if you're just losing money all the time, then you're going to be stressful. I mean, you look at me, the reason why I have my webcam on so that you can see the emotions I go through when I take a loss. There's no emotions at all. You know, just chilling. Even though there are like 4,000 people watching, 4,200 plus 4,500 people watching. You know, I'm not stressed at all, nothing. Took 1 loss, that's okay. We had a big win yesterday. You know, so if you gave 4 pips away, that's still fine. Because tomorrow is going to be a high volatile day tomorrow. High volume day tomorrow. It's Wednesday. We got ADP. We got Thursday. We got interest rates. High volume day. We got Friday. NFP. High volume day. You know, so 1 loss does not make you a bad trader. Remember that. Because some people think like it that way, right? When they take a loss and you're in groups, and if you're in a group where people post charts all day long, they post wins all day long, and you're taking a loss and you want to post a win, you're going to be forced to overtrade so that you can show off in that group, right? You got to stop doing that. You got to start focusing on how you can be better. So if you take a loss, man, that's still fine. That's okay. You know, because the psychology behind losses and risk management is really, really, really important, which is why we're having this class on 21st February. Yeah, so you can see here, pound USD here as well. Doesn't make any sense at all. It makes no sense at all. You look at structure on pound yen over here as well. We got 5 minutes left for this candle to close, and unless it doesn't come below 143.520, there's no trade at this point over here. I'm done for the day. Second losing day, but it's okay. I learned to be patient. Market is there, but not my balance. Yeah, I think you also need to look at really learn from those losses too. What most people don't do is you don't learn from those losses. I'm not specifically talking about you, Rocky. I'm just like a general statement, right? Most people don't learn from those losses. Whenever I take a loss, I'm going to take a look at that loss and I'm going to say that, okay, how could I have done better? So if I look at this trade, I took this trade right over here. I think I could have done better by waiting for price to come down towards, 143.520. That would have been a much better idea, to wait for price to come below these wicks and then take a trade and then continue down. So that's what I learned from this loss here. I'm one of the newest here, I think, not experienced at all, but I have done a lot of courses. and gave a lot of fake gurus money. I just want to say that since I'm following you, I'm more calm when I trade. Oh, nice, man. Thank you, thank you. Oh, wow. Gold is pumping. Really thanks to you, Kervin, Ted, Mac, and everyone else here. I'm really happy to be part of this. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
All right. Do not wait for the 15-minute candle. Broke my plan. Think about waiting. Didn't wait for a clean break. Okay. Took a loss over here. Secured pips, 4 pips. Do you think buying for a move up would be a good trade also because of support? Probably not, because you got this resistance right over here. You got a minor resistance formed. So even if you buy, let's say you buy from 143,580, you got like a 7 pip range, 8 pip range, minus spread becomes like a 6 pip range, and then you got an even smaller range up over here, you know, 7-8 pips, so not enough.
Is gold really heading to 1830s today? Ah, damn. It's not giving opportunities so far.
Yeah, I think gold was the only good trade over here to continue down. And your JPY that it moved up over here after it broke this resistance.
Yeah.
Let's take a look over
Gold
here.
is wild.
We got all this range down at 1825. And then we got this rejection level at 1830. If you open a position with the wrong lot size, will you decide to close half of it straight away or slight in profit, or you let it and manage risk? Well, if you open a trade with the wrong lot size, I think it's better to close it, right? I mean, don't wait around for that thing to move. That happened to me once. I accidentally opened a 50 lot on a $60,000 account, and I waited for it to go in profits because I didn't want to close in a loss. And it was on gold, man. And gold just shot up. Gold went negative 20 pips. Quick $10,000 loss right there. And from that point, I was like, okay, you know what? If it's a mistake, I gotta close it ASAP. Because the thing is, when you open a 50 lot, your drawdown, the first drawdown you see is $350. So I saw negative $350. I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense at all. It should be like $30. And when I looked closely, it was 50 lot instead of a 5 lot. Yeah, and then I'm like, yeah. And then I waited for 5 seconds for it to go in a little bit profit so I can close. But it went in negative, and that wasn't a good day at all. That was some serious money lost. I was like, never again. Hey, so the stop loss is the last line of defense in case your trade goes against your analysis? Yes. You don't need to justify yourself from anyone live streams. Oh, yo, thank you. How do you deal with multiple loss days? Do you have a limit? And if you exceed the limit, what do you do from that point? My rule is if I lose 3 days in a row, I miss out for the rest of the week. Yeah, that's a pretty good strategy there. Oh, yeah, it's a pretty good strategy. But if I'm having losses, I have to look at why I'm having those losses. You know, you gotta study those losses. Wow, gold is passing all that area to continue bearish.
Straight drop, man.
Yeah.
Drop.
We're coming down to this area down over here. 1830.
Now the 30-minute candle should leave a nice room.
Damn. Gold just moves. It's so amazing to look at gold move. We have pound yen coming down over here as well, closer to 143.520. GU is also coming down to the support. Candle's about to close. I want to be really patient with this pound yen. If I'm going to take a second trade on pound yen, I want to take it at 143.520 for price to break below this area here. I'll take it right over here at 520. This is going to be a second chance I'm going to give my trade. My stop is going to be around 6 pips over here. Candles move when they're open, so if you take a trade while it's open, don't be surprised it moves the opposite way. Yes, that's true. Because if it's moving the opposite way, it means it's just creating like a wick. It's creating a top wick.
I think so.
I don't know why this 30-minute don't make a top wick.
Yeah, it just needs to cross down a little bit lower. And then it's going to be a second entry. Second chance giving this trade. There we go. This is the second chance I'm giving this trade over here. Stops are above the previous candle and really expecting it to continue bearish now. With this volume coming in, maybe come to this wick over here and continue through this wick and start pushing bearish.
Yeah, you should be good.
I have a 1.4 pip spread. Yes, same over here. 1.4, 1.3. You know, pretty standard. What's this? Hey Raja, any tips for dealing with impatience during waiting for a setup? Most of my losses are because I cannot wait long enough to execute. The thing is, it's not about waiting long enough to execute. It's all about are you willing to miss out on a move? That's the thing. Because, you know, when you have price moving and we're so enticed to take a trade, you have to wait for price. And during that waiting period, we may miss the move. And if you miss the move, that's totally fine if you miss the move. You know, it happens. But the worst thing is going to be when you enter a trade and, you know, you enter early entry, you enter too late, you know, so you got to be willing to miss the move. That's the whole idea. And if you look on the 1 hour time frame, 1 hour candle is pushing down over here too. We got this wick to fill over here. Looking at a 30-minute time frame, 30-minute candle is also coming down, which is pretty good. So now we wanted to stay below this area. Now, when I talk about in terms of risk management, the way I'm going to manage this risk over here is that if this 15-minute candle, if this 15-minute candle breaks its own high, I'm closing 50% at that point, because that would mean it may come back in the range at that point. So I'm going to close 50% if it breaks its own high. And then obviously the stop is right over here. So at that point, then I'm going to have 2 losses, and both of those losses are going to be managed risk. GU is also moving down. We're getting weakness in the pound over here. Let's take a look at the Chinese indicator. Ooh, Chinese indicator is saying we're all ranging. Damn.
But there we go to the downside, so no worries at Chinese indicator.
Yeah. Why is Iron Man stalking you? Iron Man is, I don't know, man. Iron Man is like in his late 40s. He's got kids. He's got a home to take care of. And he's stalking people on the internet. Man, he really needs some excitement in his life right now. You know, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't stalk anyone these days. I just focus on my life. I focus on my work. And I mean, if you're in your late 40s and you're stalking people on the internet, you got issues to deal with. Probably you're looking for some validation on the internet because maybe you're not getting any validation at home or whatever the case is. I don't know, man. I get enough validation at home, so I don't look for validation outside of my house. That's all what I got to say to that. So
you're talking about validation or something else.
Oh.
We'll just leave it at that.
Let's see here. What do you think about Raytheon stock? I have no idea what that is. Do you use partial stop loss and magic keys on the current high of this candle? Yes. I use magic keys to manage the risks. Why you don't wait for the pullback in your gray area after the previous close below your support area? Why don't I wait for the pullback in the gray area? Because the way I've seen pound yen move is that it moves with a lot of volume. And if you look at the time right now, this is the New York open volume. So, you know, we're anticipating price to continue down below the support.
It should continue.
Yeah. Why Todd Capital trade with similar strategy with you? Are you friends? Yeah, we're friends. And I think it's not about strategy. It's about coming up with ways that are easier to understand and they're easier to trade. So I think that's why a lot of people are finding trading easier when it comes towards only candle patterns and reading candles. So that's why
Oh,
things.
beautiful
Oh,
move, my
wow!
brother.
Look at that!
Beautiful.
Look at
Securing
that move.
50%.
Oh,
All right, we got around 12 pips over here. Beautiful,
17. Oh, yeah, 12.
beautiful.
very nice, very nice.
Well, if the Gulag, you guys took this trade, the second position we had on the trade, congratulations. Congratulations. So,
Secure.
give a like on the stream. You know, if you guys made money over here. So we tried first attempt, didn't work. Second attempt, we took the trade and it just smashed through the profits. Smashed through the TP level.
Only when it moves to the key level, to the 500, it tends to move really fast. It moves really strong. So that's the confirmation that we need to continue further down to maybe 143 for today. So at this point, secure profits, man. I'm 18 because I had 2 positions, but secure. Nobody get broken by secure.
Yeah, I had entries on 58 on the retracement on the 30-minute.
Very nice.
Yeah, man. Great call, Raja.
Yeah, man.
Good trade.
Yeah, I held one of the positions, the first one, because I was expecting the pullback on the 30-minute toward the 600 and rejected the 600. So
Yeah, that was based on the 5 minutes, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I was checking that also, but
very nice, Raja.
yeah, have you been
Yeah,
scammed?
man,
Give us a like.
Yeah, scammed us. Sorry.
Amazing move.
Christopher is happy.
See, this is what we wanted with the volume in New York session, right? So our first entry was premature, and then, like, you know, we planned it obviously, right? And it didn't really work. And then we waited for price to break below this level, come below these wicks, took the entry, and just as we talked about, that the volume should push price below this wick here through left hand side, and that's exactly what happened here. So yeah, beautiful trade over here. So look, so this trade ran for about 12 pips. So even if you lost 4 pips, man, you're still well in profits for this week, especially because yesterday we had a 15 pip win, and today, let's say you have like a 9, 8, 10 pip win over here, you're still in profits now.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh wow, pound USD also dropped hard over here.
Yeah.
Damn.
Crazy. Damn,
Wow.
Daniel.
So yeah, on pound yen, just put your stops at break even, guys, and you're gonna be perfectly fine with this. You know, secure
Oh, yeah.
profits. Yeah.
Big time, Raja, because right now the 500 is way on top of this and 15-minute candle basically. So should be nice to see 500 to be respected as resistance to continue selling later on.
Yeah. Someone is asking, how did you all get scammed? Oh, because like, you know, like guys like Iron Man, they always say that, hey, we scam people from the live streams, and we made it a joke. We're like, okay, you know what? It's a joke. You come on a live stream, you take a profitable trade, and we're like, okay, hey, we basically scammed the markets. We didn't scam you guys. We scammed the markets here today. And honestly, I wasn't really expecting it to move this hard. It just did. It looks good now, so it's pretty good.
It does.
So yeah, like, you know, this is why never change your bias and always give your bias a second chance. Our first chance didn't work, give second chance. Amazing. Wow.
It was a pretty long consolidation, so we could have expected such a push. I mean, I was.
Yeah. Will you do a January trading recap? I might. I'm just pretty busy. I'm really busy these days with a lot of projects. So I really don't have time for like recaps and stuff like that, but I'll try. Do you think scalping during NFP is a good idea? That's the worst idea you can have. Don't do that. Scalping during NFP? Man, come on.
Trading NFP is for heroes. Yes. You have no idea how many times I got kicked in the butt trading NFP.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
How do you enter position so fast? We didn't enter position so fast. We entered it when it came right over here.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Magic keys.
Magic keys. Can you consider another thing as a fact that this current 30-minute didn't even create a top wick, so the pressure was bearish? Yeah, we can take that into account. Yeah, we can take that into account, because if it came below these wicks over here, then it was a high probability it's going to continue down. So yeah, we can take that into account too. And as we can see over here, price is coming down to our gray area at this point, and this is our rejection from the left-hand side. Wow, man, your runner should be up around 13, 14 pips at this point.
Yeah.
If you go into a 30-minute kind of Waja, it'll show you exactly why that trade worked the way it was supposed to.
All right, let's do this here.
We had clean space also.
So this rejection area here, this then becomes right here. This becomes the continuation of this rejection here. So a lot of times people are just watching one time frame. If you watch multiple time frames, it'll give you that added confluence. So as soon as we break through that, all you had to do is set orders right to here. As this was the bottom of the zone, this would be your first target. As it matches up with this area here, this candle, and then you have clean traffic down to this candle here. So that's the trade essentially broken down. People just have to watch multiple time frames, get used to doing that, so the story's told. And if you can do that, you'll see that it was very straightforward.
Yes, sir.
Traffic, clean traffic on the left is the reason why it could move so clean.
Yes.
Yep. Because remember, with clean traffic, the idea is, I mean, and it's not always, but this candle will be mirrored by something over here, right? Because what's happened is, if you think about the story that the market has told, the market has said basically, here is where we had bullish movement, right? So we had orders that were very clean all the way through. So we had the volume that was required to go through that. And then obviously we had a bit of volume go through to push through here. Now, all those orders that were received going up are being received to go back down.
Uncle Ted?
Yes.
So when you say to look at multiple time frames, so if you look at the 30-minute, the previous 30-minute created a topic for the 1 hour, so the 1 hour kept falling, right?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah. Multiple time frames for, yeah, you should have multiple charts open. As you get better, you could probably just flip through. Like gold today, when it dropped, all you had to do was watch the hour time frame, and you know that it's going to go into the next hour zone. It wasn't difficult once we broke down, and you could see where we were heading towards. So exactly where Raja has candles. Oh, this is the US dollar. Yeah, so right where he has his support, that's basically, we were just filling the zone, and you could see how we filled each level essentially to that point. And remember too, when we look at zones, you're not always going to have, you know, this is basically your zone. it may tap deeper, but once you get to that area, you should be closing out. And what you'll see, and what I do a lot of times here, and you guys have seen this, is take away all this noise in the middle, and you can start to see where you have bodies of traffic, right? You don't worry about the wicks, worry about the bodies, because those are safer areas, and you'll end up most likely completing those levels with momentum. Now, manage your risk is a separate thing. That's all.
Thank you, thank you.
Hey, Raya.
Hey,
Hey, man. How are you?
good man.
got a question?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Raya, I got a question about the trade management of this current trade that we just took. And my question is, because we have the possible rejection zones at 143.380, right? The one that is just rejecting right now. I took this trade at the same point you took it. But my concern is because I always secure at 10 pips as you teach. But I secure most of my trade, like my 90% of the trade at 10 pips. But sometimes I see you securing only 50% at 10 pips. How do you do on this trade? Because I don't know if you just close the 50% at 10 pips or...
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. That actually never happens. I never close 50% at 10 pips. Always just 80, 90%.
Okay.
Yeah, never 50%.
Yeah, because I don't see worth it like in this case, expecting like the trade to run another 3 pips, because it was the main TP, we could say it was 13 pips. So I didn't expect to go down 3 pips more. I just closed most of my trade at 10 pips.
Yeah, that's good. You close your majority at like 10 pips, 11 pips, 12 pips, and then you let the rest run. Because I mean, if this candle continues breaking below 143.370, then that's going to be your bonus runner trade, right? So you always got to let your smaller runner to do all the heavy lifting. So heavy lifting means breaking zones, you know. So if this breaks the zone, you're going to have a smaller position breaking the zone. And as you get confident in letting these trades run over, let's say, a year and a half period, then slowly you're going to say, okay, like, you know what, maybe I'm not going to close 80%. Maybe I'm going to close like a smaller position and let the whole thing run because I'm confident about it. So that confidence is going to come over time as you keep taking trades, you keep letting runners run, and they keep on moving into like larger profits and targets.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I think a lot of those things are just straight experience. I mean, you know, the idea when you're first growing your account is just to have profitable trades. I think people are doing too many things at once. You should really just focus on having profitable trades or, you know, a positive process with your trading. Trying to modify, edit, do this, should I do that, should I hold this, should I hold that? There's going to be multiple times where your trade will be, you know, profitable 10 pips or 15 pips, and then it'll run another 20 or 30, and you're like, oh, I could have caught that. But then using the same strategy, there's going to be multiple times that you're going to find that the trade reverses after 10 pips, and you're like, oh, thank goodness I got out of the trade. It's really working on just understanding what you're doing before you actually execute and planning that full execution before you actually click the button, so that you're not worried that the trade runs another 30 or 40 pips afterwards. Because if you legitimately wanted those 30 or 40 pips, you would have planned for that. So a lot of times people, new traders especially, are beating themselves up saying, oh, I could have held for a little bit longer, or this could have happened. And it's like, well, if you wanted it to happen, you would have made it happen. The fact remains that you're not comfortable at that space yet. So keep doing what you're comfortable with and stop worrying about what happens with the rest of the market. The market moves 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. there's always going to be opportunities. There's always going to be a trade that ran longer. There's always a trade that always pulls back. It's inevitable. After 3, 4, 5 years of trading, you're going to realize that there's going to be a lot of times where your planning and your strategy and your consistency has saved your ass a lot of times. Perfect example where gold shoots down 20 pips, you take profit, and then in the next 5-minute candle, it rips back up 50 pips, right? You have to understand that there's a reason why you're working on a strategy that you're comfortable with and that you can execute on, because you'll realize that a lot of times you'll have that, I guess, saving grace, so to speak, where you haven't been hit because you've held your trade a little bit too long. So keep that in mind. Don't stress or pressure yourself to be doing magical things if you haven't done 5,000 or 10,000 trades, or you haven't been trading for more than 2 or 3 years. Like, really focus on just being consistent with everything that you do every single day and just having a positive experience. That's the most important thing you can do. Otherwise, trading is just going to ruin you. It's going to ruin you mentally for the most part, because most of you guys are young and haven't experienced life. And second of all, it's going to ruin you financially, because every time you take winning trades, you're going to be giving it back the following day, trying to extend those trades or trying to hurt yourself because you're like, oh, well, that wasn't good enough. Or yesterday I got 10 pips, but I saw GJ drop another 40 afterwards, and I could do that today. You really have to just stick to the plan and grind it out, because that's all this is grinding and compounding. There's no magic formula here.
Yeah, that's true. Like, a lot of people here, they've seen us grind out for the last 3 years here on the live streams. And they like mostly know, like, how we operate or how price moves, and they're really starting to understand, like, the different sessions and volume times, and when price is ranging, to just wait for that. And so all these things, like, you learn over time with experience too. Like, some questions we get, oh, so how do you know price is going to move now or it's not going to move now? It's because experience. Like, sometimes, like, some people take it as like a rude comment when we say experience, but it's literally just experience, and that intuition you build is over time when you start seeing the same things happen, like, literally over and over and over and over again. Some days there's consolidation, you have to wait a little bit longer, but most days, you get the trade first thing in the morning. I just realized the reason my psychology has been dwindling is because I stopped listening to daily TED Talks. Oh. You know what? The beautiful thing about these streams, these free streams, is that every stream is recorded. And I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were talking about, like, how every stream recorded on YouTube has a totally different story, totally different topic we talk about, every stream. So, I mean, you have so much knowledge here, Shout out to the 16 haters who disliked. Yeah. I mean, you're only going to dislike the stream if you take the opposite trades to us, and majority of the time you're going to lose. Could you send your risk parameters of magic keys? They're basically the same. The only thing that I've changed is this close custom button. Close custom, this is set at 80%. Everything else is just the same. So when I hit close custom, it automatically closes 80%. So it's like a combo move. Let me show it to you guys. Magic keys dot trade. So it's like a combo move. So I press this and then I press this. So boom, boom. Quick time. Like, boom, boom. Like in Mortal Kombat or Tekken, right? Like when you're doing moves, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Like in Tekken 3. Like the combo move. Secure, stops or break even. Quick time. Boom, boom. Or close half and then boom.
Forward B.
Yeah, forward B. Do you recommend a standard account or a raw spread account? Depends. You know, if you go with standard account, you're not gonna pay commissions, but your spread is gonna be higher. If you go with the ECN or raw account, you're gonna have a lower spread, but you're gonna pay commission. So all in all, with ECN account, you may be saving like 0.5 pips. Yeah. But you get like a smaller spread, so it's good to see. How do I get the magic key? You go to magickeys.trade. I'm going to put the link in the YouTube chat, and you can go over there and you can purchase one. We have a bunch of reviews here too, if you want to read the reviews. Plus also we have an Instagram page over here as well. How long do you think MT4 will last? MT4 will last for I don't know when, but there's no support for MT4. When we're launching Dominion Markets in the start, we're only going to have MetaTrader 5 because we want people to move to MetaTrader 5 because there's a lot of support for MetaTrader 5. It's more quick, the executions are fast, the spreads are better on MetaTrader 5. It's MetaTrader 5 all in all is like way better. It's newer.
But MetaTrader 4 is gonna last more than Robinhood, trust me.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with Robinhood.
It's gonna last longer, trust.
Hi, Raja.
Hey, bhai.
Hey, yeah, man, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, well, thanks. Just a quick question for Ted, yeah? You know, when he was explaining, he mentioned order fills. I just didn't quite understand that. Could you explain that, please,
Well,
Uncle Ted?
it's just looking at the charts, right? So when we look at a candle, right, what is the candle made of? It's made out of orders, right? Orders are driving the market to a certain price. So if you think of what your opponent's doing, this is how I always trade, and I've done this from day one, is what is my opponent doing and why is my opponent doing that? Right? My opponent is the market. So it's institution, bank, whatever you want to call it. And I've always gone with the principle of, okay, if price has gone in this direction here, price has to return to another direction, because think about it, at a certain point in time, those orders were meant to go up or down, right? So as an example here with GJ, maybe orders were all bear, all bullish at one point, right? So that means in the land of supply and demand, we had a demand issue, right? Because people wanted all those orders. So that drove the price up, right? And once we had an oversupply of those orders, there's less demand. So now that drives those orders back down. So more than likely, where would we be driving those orders back down to? What price? Probably where we see an area of rejection, an area of consolidation, right? So when you look at this GJ chart, you can clearly see on this chart here what we have going on. We have essentially, let me draw this out. You have all these orders moving up. Oh, that's not a good color. Sorry. We have all these orders moving up into this area here, right? So I'm just drawing this as, you know, just a general overview, right? Because we can see price went up, right? So price has gone up here. All the orders went to the top of this area here, and now all the orders are dropping back down. So simply put, this area here, we had orders come up. This area over here, we had orders go down. So if we can figure this out from an economic standpoint, we can say here, there was a demand up here for all of price, and over here is where we had, or sorry, we had an oversupply over here. So let me erase this. We had an oversupply over here, right? Because price now starts to go down. So we have an oversupply, and then over here we have a over or an under demand. So essentially what's happened is once we reach to this level where we have an oversupply, people start getting rid of their orders to go back down. So then where are they going to go? They're going to go back to the demand area, and that's where people are requesting those orders. And that's where you see price move from one point to another at that level. And it goes back to sort of the trading terminology of supply and demand, right? Once you have supply is usually at the top of your charts, demand is at the bottom, right? Once supply is reached, then we start moving back down into demand area again. So that's what you're trying to do, but that's how you're understanding how your opponent is moving the market and where they're going to move the market to potentially. And that's where you as a trader say, okay, well, I'm going to anticipate where the market is going and why is the market going that way. And that's where we get all these small little innuendos like clean traffic, wicks, things like that. We've created that terminology just to help our eyes see potential areas of interest with price. They're not, written in stone, or they're not accurate 100% of the time, but we can see here we had clean traffic. So more than likely we're going to drop back down into that demand area again, because we came back up from where we had a lot of supply and now price is on the decline back into that demand. So it's almost economics as well, economics 101. When we have too much supply, price goes down, and then once price reaches a point where it's low enough, then demand increases again, and that's where you'll see price go back up.
Well, thanks, Uncle. Cheers.
Ted, I hope I'm not making you repeat yourself, but when you say you're looking at what the opponent is doing, are you trying to do the same thing as the opponent?
No, I'm trying to understand why they're doing what they're doing. So I guess maybe in some instances I am doing the same thing, but in other instances I'm trying to anticipate where they're going to go, so that I can either get to where they are or remove myself from that area, right? So we were talking a lot about gold over the last couple of weeks, where we said, okay, if gold breaks 1868, we're going back to 1900. It didn't break 1868, so now we know gold is dropping down to like 1830s. So now we anticipate, okay, where is price reaching to at that point? Like where are we getting the actual movement? So you're always scanning the charts and you're looking for potential points of interest, right? Rejections, consolidations. That's all you're doing in your charting, because your charts have told you where price is going. If you took away all the candlesticks, all the lines, and you just had price, you would see, from a consolidation standpoint, at a certain price level, if we drew that price bigger, you'd be like, okay, this price is really big here. That means everybody likes the price here. That's where they're consolidating. And then when price like if you had on your chart, price got super small, that means where price moved very fast or rapidly, that means that, price, nobody liked that price. It kept driving either up or down, and then it goes to a level where price got bigger again, or consolidation, and that's, you'd have that. So you could say here, as an example on this chart, you could say, okay, perfect. If I didn't have any candlesticks, what would I be able to see? I would be able to say, okay, no candlesticks or lines. Okay, at this point here, people really liked price. Right? We can agree with that because there's a whole lot of consolidation. And then when we start to look at other parts of the chart, we can say here, people didn't like price. People didn't like price because price moved rapidly through those areas. So you could say here, in this instance right here, price was big. And then over here, price was little at that point. So you have two instances where we had a lot of movement, but where was the movement from? It was just in a small section of price. It wasn't, from a time frame perspective, this is where we had our big moves, right over here and over here. And this whole time right here, price just moved sideways. So there was no real action. So you can see, action happened in essentially 3 15-minute candles on either side. And for, a dozen or 2 dozen 15-minute candles, there was no action at all. So that's what you'd be looking at.
Perfect. Thank you.
Wow. That's really good stuff, Ted.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Really good insights here. And if you guys have left runners over here, Man, your runners would be up like 20 pips at this point. And for that explanation for Ted and for the price going completely down towards 143, 316, very nice. Ted is the best.
4 hours is just dumping.
Dumping straight down.
Straight to the gulag.
Yeah, it came down to that 4-hour support over there too.
Yeah, but should continue.
Yeah, see, this is where we were talking about how your runner is going to do all the heavy lifting. You know, because we can like retrace, bounce, and once you're in position in profits and you have the whole position open, and if it bounces, then you're thinking about, oh man, I'm losing profits. But once you secure profits, you leave like a smaller position running, it's going to continue moving down. And when we were talking about Euro GBP also moving up, we talked about how this will continue moving up if pound starts dropping. And then we had the same move up on Euro pound here as well to continue up. Beautiful.
Raja, is there any circumstance where you would close runners before they hit your break even at stop loss?
Yeah, I mean, if you're comfortability, that's it. That's all what I can say. Comfortability, how comfortable you are at that point. But I'm going to head off, everybody. Thank you, Ted, as always. Thank you, Kervin.
It's a pleasure, my friend.
Enjoy, guys.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ted.
Take care, everybody. Don't
Thank you,
overtrade.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Don't lose profits. No. don't lose profits from today.
I'm off to work. Bye.
Take care, bro. Stay safe, stay strong.
Gracias, gracias.
Stay safe, stay strong.
Thank you.
Don't forget to hit the like button, please.
Yes.
Grande, Kerwin.
Gracias, gracias. It's gonna continue. Secure. Wow. Beautiful move.
Yeah, man, this was amazing here today. We had first trade, didn't really work out, give our bias a second chance, and what a great move on this bias over here.
Beautiful move, man. Trust.
I trust you.